Hello, welcome to another edition of Issues with Jide. Here we talk about actions and inactions of those who shape our national landscape and how they impact us positively or otherwise. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Today on the show, rising cases of ritual killings in Nigeria. We'll talk about the causes and probable solutions. Also, we're looking at IPOB giving condition for peace with Nigeria. In the course of the program, we'll take your questions, but first, subscribe to our YouTube channel and drop your questions in the comment section. I have joining me via Zoom, the master himself, Babajide Kolade-Otitoju. Thank you so much for joining us, BKO.
Thank you for doing this with me.
Right, let's start with the first topic. It started as a topic for small talk, but now it's roaring like wildfire. People are dropping dead, right, left, and center. Body parts are getting missing. Citizens are getting kidnapped. Young people are going mad. Parents are killing their children, and children, killing their parents. Well, all in a bid to get rich quick. What's happening in our country, BKO?
You see, the whole thing can be linked to the collapse of our nation's moral fiber. Parents no longer provide parental guidance for their children the way that it makes sense to make money in the right way. All they want to do is simply make money. And our society does not punish people who make money the dirty way. People who steal from the country, people whose hands are not clean, whose source of wealth remain shady and shadowy, are the people who get respected in our country. They are the people who get invited to big occasions. They are the people who are conferred with big traditional titles in our country. They are the people seen as the better Nigerians. Those who have chosen to work hard, to be diligent, and to make money in the right way. The society has no regard for them. You will only be respected if you have got so much money to spare. A society that honors thieves and dishonors hard work and moral rectitude can never be a society where children will be raised in the right way. So our young people have chosen the path of advanced fee fraud, and some of them are using fetish means to promote advanced fee fraud. It is so shameful that some children now murder their parents. We've seen some young people arrested for murdering their parents for money-making rituals. We've seen some parents use their children for money-making rituals. We now see young people kill their girlfriends for money-making rituals. Somebody said the other day that the day women start using men for money-making rituals, a lot of our men will be in trouble, including married men and even those who have chosen not to get married. So, if our society, and I believe that our clerics, the pastors, the imams too, have not done enough. All they are after is simply preaching prosperity They are not preaching hard work. They are not drawing attention to the fact that our nation is in dire straits and we all need to work at jumping and ensure that we reflate our economy and make our nation begin to work again. When you spend all your time preaching prosperity and you reserve places in the front of the church and you accord only those who have got money respect, even in this so-called house of God, why won't people do whatever it takes to make money, no matter how dirty it is? That is why crime is rampant in our nation. People commit crime to make money. They don't care about taking people's lives. What is particularly worrisome, and we cannot defeat this scourge of people being killed for money-making rituals without addressing the problem of advance fee fraud. People that and we have not come up with laws that properly punish advance fee fraud. We have not done that. People governors who will refuse to sign death warrants. Yet they are never scared to take the lives of their political opponents. They send thugs after their political opponents. Sometimes they kill them. But to sign death warrants in respect of people who have been duly convicted by our courts, they are reluctant to do. So where you don't punish crime, crime will fester. There are just no two ways about it. If we come up with the right laws that punish advance fee fraud severely, if we apply our law, because I believe that our law in respect of advance fee fraud is not punitive enough. It's like a slap in the wrist. Now that advance fee fraud has become an epidemic in our country, we have to amend our laws and punish it a lot harder. When that happens, and these young people who have chosen not to work, but have taken to a life of criminality, they will sit up. Our justice system too has to be such that cases are dispensed with quickly. And our policing has to be a lot better, because even our policemen connive with these advanced fee fraudsters. And they sometimes also bungle murder cases, whether it is for ritual or whatever. So, as long as we do not punish, in my view, properly, we can't put an end to this. We've got to go back to the basics. Are we bringing up children the right way? The Yorubas will say, who have no job, but will bring exotic cars home. Who have got no jobs, but will buy cars for their parents, buy expensive cars for their parents. We've got to punish, we've got to scold such children. You've got to reject such gifts from your children. If you cannot convince yourself that your child had the means to buy the gift that she bought for you. Many parents today know that their children are into advance fee fraud, but they do nothing about it. They are happy to see them commit such crimes. They are happy as long as money is rolling in and they get a piece of the action. It's such a massive shame. We've got to do something, because it's getting worse. And no part of Nigeria, I know that some people will say, oh, ritual killings is largely in the southwest. There's no part of Nigeria where you do not have it. I was reading the other day, and I was in Taraba, and I was told that in Taraba State now, ritual killings have assumed a disturbing proportion in Taraba State. That's far away in the northeast. Whether in the south, Edo State, and some states of the south, ritual killing is taking place. It's taking place in the southeast. The other day, a man was arrested in Zamfara State. He had a history of killing people and eating their meat. A modern day cannibal in Zamfara State. So this is a national problem. We have to realize that it's a national problem, and we have to deal with it as such.
Right, BKO. Let me go, because we've got avalanche of questions, from Facebook, see, and in movies.
I think also that we need to do something about the kind of movies that we come up with. The census board needs to clamp down on movies that portray ritual killing and money-making rituals generally. These movies do not represent the way we are. It's just a case of intellectual and creative laziness on the part of script writers. In today's world, a lot of those movies made around juju and the rest of them, they don't represent the way we are. The average young man does not simply go out to do juju to get someone to marry her and all that, but we are finding it difficult to take juju out of our movies. I see movies from South Africa and other places. It's not as if juju, they don't have juju in South Africa and a lot of these places, but people over there do not think that it makes sense to simply be churning out movies that try to give the impression that juju really works, or that our people like to use fetish means to achieve their aims. The census board needs to look at this and get directors, scriptwriters, and the rest of them to come up with movies that preach moral rectitude, hard work as a means of attaining success. To do that, they see 419ers around them. They see the way the society releases them. The way the society receives them, the way the society literally idolizes them. And they see the likes of Davido and the rest of them flaunting their wealth in a very obscene way. There are young people who are rich who do not flaunt their wealth like that. So they want to be like these guys. They want to be like a Davido, who was boasting the other day that he's going to buy a private jet, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. They want to spend money like Davido, but they've not got Davido's musical talents and connection. So what do? They find other means of getting rich so that society can really honor them and treat them like special people. And where do they spend this money? They go to nightclubs. They go to nightclubs where they could buy just a bottle of wine for thousands and thousands of naira, sometimes blowing millions of naira in one night at a nightclub. This is the kind of life that these guys are living. We've seen people steal money in our country. They don't get jailed. Rather, the community will even give them red carpet reception. So all of these things, the fact that young people can see that hard work really pays, that honesty really pays in our country, is driving them to adopt crooked means to make money in the belief that that's the way that they will be respected in our society. Clerics are even doing juju, clerics that ought to preach sobriety and moral rectitude. A lot of them have been arrested for doing this juju for these young people. A lot of Muslim clerics have been arrested. And we've seen people call themselves pastors, even within the four walls of their churches. Dead bodies have been exhumed. So who will now preach to the young people about the right way to make money, about hard work, about the Omoluabi syndrome?
Yeah,
preach to them.
That brings me
to preach to them. They are probably worse than those students.
Yeah, that brings me to a question, Qadri Taufik. You know, he raised something very similar to that. He said, "Our men of God need to preach on fairness and equity, not prosperity always. The preaching of, quotes, your destiny is being stolen, take it back, end of quote, and all that kind should be reduced or stopped. They should let them know, or they should let us know, that not all of us are destined to be rich." How does that resonate with you?
I agree absolutely with him. Some of these clerics are just downright irresponsible, because what they preach at the pulpit and even the way they flaunt wealth themselves, you know, will naturally predispose young people to adopting the kind of lifestyles that they've adopted. My question has always been, even when these guys are arrested, they don't do these things alone. There are clerics, there are juju men who prepare these charms for them, who tell them the way to do it is go and bring the head of your girlfriend. How many of them have we arrested? And when we arrest them, what happens in the final analysis? There must be justice. The justice system in Nigeria will never allow us to defeat crime comprehensively. It's just not going to happen. A system that doesn't punish crime can only encourage crime. That's what we are seeing. Today, if a pastor is guilty of a crime, we are not likely to jail him. But woe betide that pastor if he goes to the US to commit that crime, or he goes to the UK. We don't punish the rich. That's why people will say, Olówó ma kure. Yorubas will say, Olówó ma kure. Only the rich people die better, or die in a fantastic way.
So we are saying
there's no such thing as dying in a fantastic way.
Everybody contributes to it.
It's a debt that we all owe.
Well, as a matter of fact, BKO,
this is a very big problem.
Right. Well, as a matter of fact, BKO, some armchair philosophers preach that Yahoo business is justified because our children are taking back what the white man took from our ancestors, those who are doing, when Yahoo actually started. So we even have this crop of ritualists in government. Some of them are taking, political positions. So what do you think can be done to rally all the broken pieces of the country's moral machine?
So it's a very comprehensive thing that we have to do. It has to start at the kindergarten level. When we are growing up, some of the things they were teaching us, they are not being taught these days. The things that my father taught me, the way he scolded me, the way he beat me, we no longer beat our children like that. We no longer beat our children like that. And if someone says, oh, the Yahoo, is a very foolish thing to say we are taking back what some people took from us. They fail to realize that it's not only white people that are victims of this Yahoo business. Fellow Nigerians have been scammed. Fellow Nigerians are being killed for money-making rituals, otherwise known as Yahoo plus plus. Yahoo plus and Yahoo plus plus. That's what we are seeing. When an undergraduate kills his girlfriend, a Yahoo boy who is an undergraduate kills his girlfriend, that's Yahoo plus. So they use fetish means to advance their Yahoo pastime. And it is here that they pick their victims. The people get beheaded, they are not white people. So it's not even white people alone that are victims. Fellow Nigerians are victims. So people who talk like that, they are just downright stupid. We can't continue along that path. When there is a big problem, government must step up to find the right laws that will be punitive and serve as a deterrent. But if we do not toe that line, definitely the problem will get to us. That's why I'm prescribing an amendment to our laws that will punish heavily advanced fee fraud, that will punish heavily taking anyone's life, either for money-making rituals or for any reason for that matter. If we like, we can come up with another law that prescribes separate punishments for ritual murder or murder for money-making rituals, so that the world knows that we are trying to address that problem. But to simply refuse to talk,
the
Ministry of Information at federal level is not doing anything.
Right.
They are not behaving like this is a big national problem. All they are interested in is just preparing for 2023. Just politicking.
Well, BKO.
That's what this generation of politicians are doing. They are not addressing some of the big problems, social problems, eating deep into our moral fiber. They are not doing that.
BKO, well, I know this is a very serious topic. I know that we keep talking about it, and hopefully our leaders will do something, and also the youth will do the right thing, will learn the right what is called moral. Well, let's quickly change tack by talking about IPOB. The IPOB Media and Publicity Secretary Emma Powerful said that the group is ready for peace if only Nigeria is out for it, but sharply contradicts himself by adding, quotes, but so far Nigeria has already foreclosed any possibility of peaceful resolution because what they want is Biafra or nothing.
There is no big deal about making peace with these people or any group for that matter. And there are ways by which we can do this. I thought there was an opportunity that offered itself when the old man Amechi led some Igbo leaders as the First Republic minister. He's in his 90s now, led some Igbo leaders to President Buhari and requested for dialogue as a means of resolving the problem. Mr. President said, oh, you people have made a very, very difficult request. He said he will consider it. But there's no sign that I've seen that the president wants to consider the request of those 4 men. Rather, the president said some time ago that he would not interfere in the work of the judiciary. There's nothing like interfering in the work of the judiciary. You took the case to the judiciary. The judiciary cannot stop the Attorney General from withdrawing a matter before the courts. The Attorney General of the Federation is the most powerful minister and is also the most senior minister. That is the only ministerial position or ministerial job that cannot be delegated. And that is the only ministerial job that you require to be educationally qualified before you can hold it. You don't need to be a policeman to be police affairs minister. You don't need to be a medical doctor to be minister of health. In the past, in our country, we've had a minister of health who was not a doctor. So I thought there was an opportunity there, but clearly the president was not interested in that. And recently he said he would be happy to see Kanu defend himself in court and all that. I guess that's what the Mapafu meant when he said that so far there has been no sign that Nigerian authorities want peace. When we had the Niger Delta problem, we opted for dialogue because we saw clearly that force was not going to solve the problem. We were merely wasting our time. Because the Niger Delta area is not where you just simply drop bombs and all that. Eventually, we made peace with the aggressors. And today, the same aggressors who reduced Nigeria's oil output to just about 500,000 barrels a day have decided to stop attacking our oil installations, and Nigeria can do at least 1.8 million to 2 million liters a day. We have the capacity to do that now, thanks to peace. Because when they were attacking our export terminals, we couldn't make money. So we knew that we needed to make peace. And the former Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and the Vice President, they were the ones who engaged those boys, and peace was restored. So 2 times in the Niger Delta, we have taught the part of dialogue, and it worked for us. It worked like a charm for Nigeria as a country. So who says pursuing dialogue in the case of the Southeast is a bad idea? Who is that person? The president has to do what's best for our country. This is not a matter of ego. If IPOB shows a desire for peace, if IPOB says, look, we are going to renounce violence of any sort, then I think the government should be ready to pursue that line. The government should be ready to withdraw the case in court. Because it's the ordinary people who are suffering. It's the ordinary people who are being killed on Mondays when they organize this sit-at-home.
Right, BKO.
So no price is too big. No price is too huge to pay for us to have peace in the Southeast.
Right, BKO. We are out of time, but let me quickly rush through some of the questions, some of the comments that we have on YouTube and some other platforms. On the first one, Razak Ademola says, "Thank you, Mr. Jide, watching from Onslow, West London. Example is a case of Adedoyin Ramon of Oduduwa University. He was even threatening the Adegoke family." When on KU, Daniel said, "Sad part is I don't even think these rituals work. So what's the point, of doing them in the first place?" Godwin Michael says, "Here people show their wealth openly. Government should wake up, start imposing heavy taxes on these people so they can stop flaunting things in our faces." On the IPOB, someone is saying, Aunt Nam says, "Politicians in the East using IPOB to gain power and influence never fall for the blackmail." And Fabian says, "Shame to you that an I think this one is just responding to so a question which someone is saying, and that which I'll be wanting you to respond to. I can't find it, but the question actually reads that some people are brainwashed to believe in IPOB, to believe in that they can actually secede from Nigeria, and that goes to a neighbor of mine who is saying that, a core member who is saying that what she wants is Biafra, especially when Nigeria lost the match, the very last match that Nigeria lost, kicking them out of AFCON, that thank God I'm a Biafran. I said, but you've been in Nigeria all this long, but because Nigeria lost, that's the reason you are claiming a Biafra. And then you're an NYC member. Why are you serving? He said, I'm just collecting the money. Nigeria is wasting its time. And this is to say, an elder and former governor of Anambra State, Chukwuemeka Ezefe, said is disappointed with President Muhammad Buhari's refusal to release Nnamdi Kanu from detention despite giving them hope after the last meeting. So, but that the president in his last public interview said otherwise. So where do we go from here as you wrap?
No, that's the point where you ended your remarks was the point I was making, that there was an opportunity there that the president refused to take. Those 4 men said there was a time when they spoke to Nnamdi Kanu and he listened to them. He promised the president that if the president releases him to him, that he can assure him that all the bad things he was doing, he would no longer do. He made that promise. And he recalled that there was a time that he told him, please don't do this civil disobedience, and he listened. So he tried to debunk the notion that Kanu does not listen to anyone. And I also do not agree. There are some people like Ezefe, like the old man Amechi, that Kanu will listen to. So, and I've given examples that sometimes you really have to make peace. What do we have in Colombia now? After more than 60 years of fighting, they've decided to embrace peace. The few cases of violence, cannot be compared with what they had in the past. So the government in Colombia decided to give peace a chance. So we can do that in our country as well, but it's the decision for the president to make. And I'm saying that there is no sacrifice too huge to make in the interest of peace and the innocent people who are being killed in the Southeast.
Right.
So if you ask me, I will advise the government to pursue the dialogue option. We've done that in the past.
Political solution.
And we reap bountifully from it, talking about the South. Right. Niger Delta Avengers. We made peace with them, and we are a better country for that. So why not?
Why not?
That I'm making.
Why not? If not, that's our show for today's edition of Issues with Jide. Special thanks to Babajide Kolade-Otitoju for those insightful analyses. As always, BKO.
Thank you so much, Brian.
And thank you to
thank you
and thank you
for getting better
right
at what you do.
Thank you very kindly, BKO. And thank you to our audience for joining us on every edition. You can see the program again anytime by subscribing to our YouTube channel, TVC News. Click on the subscribe button to get the latest information. I'm Ibrahim Shita. See you again next edition. Bye for now.